Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am here with a really quick video of my TBR for this week's BorrowAthon. It actually starts today, November 5th, and it ends next Sunday, November 12th. So you gotta get your TBR list together really fast, but you can still join in on the fun. It's basically just a readathon week that you celebrate borrowed books, and since I'm a librarian, I thought it was a great one to get on board with and to really knock out some things that have been on my TBR list for a very long time. So let's just get into the 6 challenges and what I plan on reading this week for each challenge. The first challenge is give an author a second chance. This one is so hard. I went on my Goodreads and looked at like my 2- and 3-star books because I've never given a 1-star book. And especially the 2-star books, I was like, I cannot stomach another read by one of these authors. It took me forever to get through the book. I don't want to do it again. So I actually chose a book by Sarah Pinborough. The book I've read of hers previously is Behind Her Eyes, which was dubbed as like a book for Gone Girl or the Girl on the Train type fans. And it was a really good read up until like 3/4 of the way through, when all of a sudden it took a fantasy twist, which was fine, but then it crossed a really sleazy line for me that I can't stomach when it comes to, essentially it was rape, in my opinion. And so I can read pretty much anything violence. I'll read fantasy even though I don't like it, sci-fi. But as soon as it crosses this line that just makes my stomach flip, I'm out. It immediately goes from a 5-star to a 3-star, and I feel like Behind Her Eyes did that, and without giving too much away of the story, like it just made me feel uncomfortable at the end of the portrayal of this character and how they ultimately got their way. Anyways, moving on, I'm just going to choose this book by Sarah Pinborough. It is 13 minutes. It is about a girl who dies for 13 minutes after like a bullying type incident, and she is trying to figure out who is responsible for her 13-minute death or murder, I guess. And so it sounds interesting. I'm hoping there's not another fantasy twist to it. It also is dubbed Mean Girls for the Instagram age. Now, I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, because I'm one of the people that like Mean Girls was during my high school days, so I liked Mean Girls. I still think it's funny. Excuse my dog. I still think it's funny sometimes. So this still could be a good book just based on that, but we will see. Challenge number 2 is start a new to you series. I really struggled with this one because I am not a series reader. It really has to be a good series and a good book for me to like continue reading on, because I'm afraid that I'm going to miss out on something else because I'm stuck within one series. So this is going to be kind of my brain break, and it is The Notebook of Doom. I got these books recently for my school, and they have not sat on the shelf. The kids love them. They're always asking if there's any more that have been checked in. They fight over them, and so I'm just kind of wanting to see what it's about. It's a really short read, and so this is The Rise of the Balloon Goons. We shall see. Challenge number 3, read a book with 5 or more words in the title. I have chosen The Insignificant Events in the Life of a Cactus. It is by Dusty Bowling. I have heard so many great things about this. It was recommended to me by a friend and colleague. It is actually about a girl that is missing an arm, but she has so much humor throughout the story that it's not so much like a story of an underdog, but it's just like the story of a normal kid, is from what I've gathered. Other than that, I don't really know much about it, but I'm really excited to get to it. Challenge number 4 is a 2017 release. There were a lot of choices I could have gone for, but I decided on The Stars Beneath Our Feet. It's another one like the last book I shared with you that I've had on my TBR list for a while. It is about a boy named Lolly whose brother is killed in a gang shooting, and he's 12 years old and he's trying to process the grief. He is given 2 bags of Legos, and he starts working on this giant project, and it says that it starts getting so big that it has to go outside of his apartment. It's about how he's trying to process the grief, but also trying to decide if he's going to follow in his brother's footsteps or make a path for himself. I wanted to see if it would be a good fit for my elementary library, but just breezing through it and seeing some of the obscene commentary here and there, I don't think it's quite a good fit. I think it's more of a high level grade for 6th through 8th graders, so maybe middle school, if not high school, would be a good fit. But I'm so excited to get into this, and I'll let you know how it goes. Challenge number 5, we are almost to the end already. is read a book that you find in #library haul. So I looked on YouTube and I couldn't quite find anything, and so then I went to Instagram and searched that hashtag. And the first book that came up time and time again was When Dimple Met Rishi, which I was excited to see, and it's been on my TBR, once again, for a very long time. However, it is really lengthy, and I know with all these other books I'm trying to read, it would take too much time and I wouldn't get it done. So I decided to go for a shorter one, and another one I constantly saw was Dear Martin. It is by Nick Stone. It falls in the same category as The Hate U Give and The All-American Boys in the fact that it's about a white cop firing upon a young black man. I'm interested to see if this is a story within itself or it's very similar to the others. I am kind of nervous to read it because I feel like this topic has been done a lot lately, but it's one of those things that does need to be talked about among our youth, and so if this is another tool to get that conversation going, I am all for it, and we will see how the novel reads as a whole. And then challenge number 6 is the one I am most excited for. It is read a book that features a library. And it is The Librarian of Auschwitz is what I picked. It is based on the true story of the Auschwitz prisoner named Dita Kraus, and she was placed responsible for like the 4 to 6 books that they had in this camp. And so she kind of hid these books from the officers and was responsible for kind of checking in, checking out to the prisoners to keep the love of books and the hope of books alive within the camp. And so I am so excited to read this story. I know once I start it, I won't be able to focus on anything else. I wasn't sure if I'd actually be able to read this for BorrowAthon because I saw this before it came out and I placed a hold at the library immediately. And then I went to the bookstore and saw it on the shelf, and it was just so beautiful. And I knew it would be one that I would want to keep for myself, so I bought it. It was my own copy, so I knew I can't read it from BorrowAthon because I didn't borrow it. And then I was sent an email that this copy at the library came in and was being held for me. So I gave my personal copy to a friend for her to read so I could read this one and count it for BorrowAthon. So I maybe found a way to work around it, but I'm so excited. This is going to be the first one that I dig into. And if I don't get to any of the other ones during the week, that is fine because this one I know is just going to rock my world, and I can't wait to see what it holds. That is it. Those are the 6 books that I plan on reading this week during BorrowAthon. I will leave the link down below to the creator's video. Please check out her video and then other people's. If you search BorrowAthon, you will come up with some videos, and all of those people's TBR lists are outstanding as well. I'm excited to get to connect with everybody over the Twitter chats. Those will be from 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time each night. And then there'll be kind of like a live chat next weekend to wrap everything up. So I will also be back with a wrap-up video of how everything went, what my thoughts were for the books, especially if I get to 13 minutes, the book that I'm giving the author a second chance. I'll be excited to share my thoughts about that one. But until next time, bye guys!